Good morning, everybody. This is Sue Sanders, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Missouri. And today it is Tuesday, May 16th, 2023. And I am recording this at 4:45 a.m. And I'm doing this all by myself because my assistant is still in bed. So let me pop up. This is my current host code for the month of May. And I would appreciate your business if you are new to stamping or an avid stamper and you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Please contact me and I'd love to be your demonstrator. So today our little technique is going to be a very simple technique. It's one that I used many, many years ago when I first started making cards. It's simple and yet it adds something to the background of your mat for your front of your cards. So all we're going to use is some ink, paper, a stainless steel sponge that you can get at the Walmart or Target or whatever store you've got around you. And then we're going to use this stamp set today, the Good Feelings. And the reason I'm using this one is because it has some really big and bold greetings on it to use on the front. So I understand that some people may not have a whole lot of stamping supplies, and that's fine because it takes a while to get your stash built up. So let's get right into this. I'm going to hide my host code so that you can see full screen. So I'm going to be using Berry Burst and Azure Afternoon today. Two colors that are new in our catalog this year. And I need, here it is, I need to get a piece of my scrap paper. So like I said, this is a very easy technique, but it's a fun technique to do, and you get different results depending on the inks that you use. So let me get a sip of coffee here because it's still early. I don't expect anybody to be on here this morning unless you're in another country and not in the United States. But today is my pamper me day, so I'm going to get my nails redone and get my hair done. So I wanted to go ahead and get this recorded because I knew I would not have time later today. So with your stainless steel sponge, and you can crinkle this up, and they come in different textures. Okay, so this one here, all I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp it into the ink, and then I'm just going to stamp that all around on my paper. Now, I did get a little piece of that into my stamp pad, so we're going to remove that. And then you're just going to keep doing that until you get little speckles all over your base card. And I am using the basic white, and this is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. All right, so there is our Berry Burst. Okay, so you can kind of see how it just kind of gives it a speckle technique or a speckled background. Okay, now I'm going to just take and wipe this off on my yeah, my mind has just gone blank. My little sponge cleaner. Okay, so I'm just wiping off that excess ink, kind of dabbing it off, make sure that I don't have any more if it's going to transfer to my next color. And you don't have to use but one color. So if you're one of those people that you're just starting to make cards, like I said, this is a technique when I first started making cards that I did quite often because we didn't have, Stampin' Up! Didn't have a whole lot of background stamps or the little, what I call the little dots that you could make a background with. So this is just one that you can do without a whole lot of and you can't see it real well on the camera, but I do have that azure blue, And then I have that berry burst. So let's close up those. And I'm going to clean this off from the azure blue because we're going to use it again. But it kind of makes it look like the paper is printed that way with those little spots and dots all over the place. Now we're going to bring in our Good Feelings stamp set. And this is found in the annual catalog for 2023-2024. And I'm going to just stamp a big greeting on the front of it. And it's just going to say, I'm just so happy for you. All right, so we're going to pick this up. That block might be an overkill. Let me get another one. Oh, I guess I got to use the overkill. All right, so we're just going to pick up the stamp. Okay, and I'm going to do this in the azure blue, afternoon blue. I love this new color. So I'm just going to ink up my stamp really well. And because I haven't conditioned this stamp yet, I'm going to go ahead and see how it stamps for us. That looks pretty good. Okay, and I am just going to stamp this right here towards the bottom center. Okay, so I'm just so happy for you. And like I said, if you've got multiple stamp sets or multiple inks, you can use whatever color you want. I just wanted this to be a very simple card that you could send to someone that is having a great time or they're doing something new in their life. Okay, so then we're going to just mount that on our card front, and I'm going to use my Seal Plus adhesive. And I'm going to put down my silicone mat. And the Seal Plus is really sticky. I probably overuse mine, but I never want someone to be able to, I don't want the card to just come apart. So that's why I use more so than what some other people might use. And I'm going to put that right down there. Okay, so there's a very simple card that you can write in, put another greeting on the inside, okay? And I could go ahead and I could add more of the background speckled if I wanted to, but we're going to leave this card just as it is, as just a very simple basic card if you're new to card making, okay? So now the next card we're going to just do real quick, and we're going to use the same supplies. And I am going to get my scratch paper here, and we're going to get our stainless steel Brillo pad, and we're going to go ahead and do our spots again. It used to be at a time when I first started using this technique, I used it all the time. I mean, I just didn't think that a card was complete unless I didn't have any white showing. And so I used this speckle technique quite often when I first started stamping. One, because most people have one of these in their kitchens, and I haven't bought any for a while, so I don't know how expensive they are, but they're probably not too expensive, and you can reuse it over and over again. Just make sure that you wash it out and dry it. Now I'm going to come in with our Azure Afternoon blue, and we're going to start speckling with that one. And I really want to concentrate on just, and all I'm doing is just pouncing so that it really shows up. Okay, so can y'all see that okay? All right, close up the ink pads for a minute. All right, now I'm going to use I'm going to use, let's see. No, let's go hip hip hooray. These are kind of tight in my case. And if that happens, if you have trouble getting your stamps out of your case, what I do is I take my Take Your Pick tool and I use the spatula end, because you don't want to tear off that adhesive, but it does get sticky. So I just kind of pry up my stamps off the plastic case with my spatula tip of my Take Your Pick tool. Okay. And we'll get a block for these two. Like I said, I am recording this. It is before 5 o'clock in the morning, a.m. Central Daylight Time. I woke up at 3 o'clock this morning and couldn't go back to sleep. So here is our hip hip hooray. And I'm going to stamp both of those at the same time. And we're going to put these, let's put them down here in the corner, because I have an idea of what we're going to do with this to step it up one bit, just a notch. If you're more of a stamper and you have more different stamps, I can't talk and stamp at the same time, unfortunately. I need to see if this is going to be straight. I have a feeling, nope, it looks good. All right, again, I'm going to stamp in the Azure Afternoon. Get it all lined up here. Okay, so hip hip hooray. Now we're going to take, excuse me. This is a new set that came out in the catalog, Beautiful Balloons. And it does have a die set to match it. And it also has paper, so it comes in a suite. So it's a really pretty suite, but I know a lot of people don't have the means to buy the entire suite. So you can just buy the stamp set, or you can buy the bundle with the dies. We're going to use, I think, this little banner. We're just going to kind of step up this card a little bit. We're going to use this banner and put it across the top. Now, I have not tried this. This making of this card is right here live with you this morning. So we're going to put that on there like so. And we're going to then stamp this up here to where it's going to kind of go off the base of our card. And we're going to stamp that in the Berry Burst color. And because this is a very dark color, it's also a photopolymer stamp. So I need to grab my little stamp mat here. And I'm going to put that underneath there because I know it's going to go over off my paper. And we're just going to judge this and kind of get this up into the corners of our cardstock. Okay, so now we have a little banner going on there. And this would be a nice simple card for you if you had somebody that was graduating or if you have a birthday. Okay, so we just cleaned that off. Now within this set, it has these little, let's see, these little tassels. Okay, so we're going to use that little tassel. I'm just grabbing another block here. And keeping with our same colors, we're going to start with, we're going to do the azure blue, and we're going to put tassels where our little banner comes together at. Okay. So like I said, we have the real simple card, and then we have the little stepped up card that you can make very easily. So here's our tassels. Put my glasses on so I can see a little bit better. Okay, and I haven't conditioned all of these stamps. So one thing that with the photopolymer, if you see that it's kind of bubbling on your stamp, just take and stamp it a few times on some scratch paper, and that's going to kind of condition that stamp. All right, so now we're going to just stamp once. And again. Again. And again. Okay, so there is our hip hip hooray with our little banner at the top. Okay, we're going to use another stamp out of that here in just a second. We're going to go ahead and attach this to our card base, which is the Azure Afternoon. Okay, and like I said, today's video technique is more towards the new stampers, ones that have not got a lot of stash built up yet, that you can just make very simple cards with. And, you know, it doesn't really matter whether it's a simple card or a real advanced type card. Who doesn't like getting Happy Mail? I love getting Happy Mail. That's what I call anything other than bills is Happy Mail. So here is our layer here. Okay, so it says hip hip hooray. We're going to get another piece of, excuse me, basic white. And here's another tip for you. I got tired of every time I would make a card, I would have to cut a card base, or I would have to cut the inside piece. So when I got a brand new pack of basic white, I just went through and I cut up a whole bunch of sheets to the 4 by 5 1/4, so that I would have them all ready and I wouldn't have to worry about stopping and cutting when I needed. I already had them. So we have that, and it's got hip hip hooray. So on the inside, I think we're going to use the stamp that says, I think this calls for a celebration. Okay, so like I said, this could be a birthday card. It could be a graduation card. You can make it just about any kind of card you want with this background technique. All right, we're going to use our Azure Afternoon again, staying with our color family. Okay, and this one again has not been conditioned, so let me condition that real quick because I want to make sure that I get a nice, crisp image. Okay, so if you're watching this on YouTube, please sign in to your YouTube account using your Gmail address and leave me a comment. I will come back and read those comments. I think it's time for a celebration. Okay, so we've got that. And now the set also comes with balloons. Okay, and like I said, if you don't have a set of images, then just leave it with the greetings. It's, you know, even with that go-to greetings, I'm sorry, not the go-to greetings, the good feelings, it's got hip, hip, hooray. And then on the inside, you could just stamp, I'm just so happy for you. So you don't have to put in different greetings from another stamp set if you don't have but one. We're going to take and stamp a balloon. Let's see, I think I'm going to stamp my little string first, because then I can line up my balloon with that. Okay, and I want to just kind of see where I can have this balloon positioned at to have, there we go. So we're going to do the little string here in the azure blue, and we're going to do it right about there. We're going to come in now with our berry burst, and we're going to put that balloon right on top of that string, like so. And I think we're going to add another one over here, because we want this to be a celebration card. Now, all I did now was I'm not re-inking it. I just huffed on it to bring life back to that ink. And now I'm using the second generation, so it's kind of lighter. And it didn't do that one side. So we're going to take and ink it up again, stamp off, and line it back up. There we go. So now we have two balloons, and I think it's time for a celebration. Okay, we're going to attach that to the inside of our card, and we'll be done. And it's very simple and easy card to make if you are a beginner in the card making. I love this technique, and you can do it with so many different colors, and you'll never get one that looks identical. And that's the sweet part of this, is that no two cards will ever be the same. I can see to lay this down evenly. All right, so there is our hip hip hooray stepped up card with a little bit more stamping on it. And then this one here says, I'm just so happy for you. And we can put whatever greeting on the inside of that we want. And there we have it today, everybody. So that is our technique for today, is using a stainless steel kitchen sponge to make a fun speckled background. So I hope you like that. Give it a try. Let me see what you come up with, what color combinations. Let me get this all out of the way, and I'll lay both the cards down side by side so you can see both of them. Here's the simple card, and then the little stepped up card for us. So where we added a little bit more stamping to it. Okay, hope you all enjoyed that. I'm going to put up my host code one more time. And if you want to order anything, please do so on my online store. And you can get there by just clicking on my blog. And that is, let's see, here's my blog. And there's a link that will take you directly to my online Stampin' Up! Store. And these were made with just this stainless steel kitchen sponge. Okay. So y'all have a great day today. We'll see you again next week